Hey, what's up guys? Alex here. In this video, we will download the software needed to start developing on the RV32M1 Vega board. This video only covers the Windows installation, but the steps are basically the same for other operating systems and can be found in the Getting Started PDF that comes with the SDK. The software we will download includes the Software Development Kit, aka the SDK, toolchain, device drivers, and an optional IDE, aka Eclipse. Alright, so let's get started guys. Okay, so the very first thing you should do is go to the open-isa.org webpage and then go to downloads and download everything that's on there. The most important part to note is to download the SDK and the toolchain inside a known directory in your computer. For example, I put mine in a folder called Vega inside my C drive, and then extract everything that's you downloaded. Once you extract everything, go to toolchain, Windows, and also extract these two archives, the OpenOCD and the GCC. Okay, so once you finish downloading and extracting everything, let's quickly explore what the SDK contains. So let's go into the SDK folder, and the first thing to note is the Getting Started PDF. This PDF contains all the instructions on how to set up your environment on all the different OSs that we support, including Linux, Mac, and Windows. It also has instructions on how to build and run a demo using GCC and then using Eclipse. One last thing to note is at the very end in Appendix B, it gives you instructions on how to change the boot core. Right now it is pre-configured to boot from the RI5CY core, but you can also change it to boot from the 0 core or the other cores listed here. Okay, so now let's go back to the main SDK folder. Then go to boards, RV32M1 Vega. Here you'll find all the example applications that we provide. They range from multi-core examples to wireless examples. These are very useful whenever you start development because you can use them as a base and then build up from them. Now let's explore the structure of a demo. So let's go into demo apps. Let's explore the bubble demo. There are two subfolders within each demo, one for each core, the risky and the zero risky. So you can run the demo on either core. Just make sure you change the boot configuration accordingly. Let's go into the risky subfolder. Within each demo, there is a readme text file. It tells you what the demo does and how to run it. Okay, now let's go back to the main SDK folder again. And now let's go to devices, RV32M1. And here you will find all the source files for the drivers and the startup files. So in case you want to start from scratch, these are all the files you will need to get going. Now that we are more familiar with the SDK, it is now time to set up the environment. We will first set up OpenOCD, then move on to setting up GCC, and finally end with Eclipse. In order to be able to use OpenOCD from anywhere in our system, we first have to add it to our system path. So in order to do that, first let's go back to the download folder where we installed everything. Then go to the toolchain folder, Windows, OpenOCD, and then the bin folder. In this folder, copy the path, and then go to the start menu and search for system variables. Here you will click on the edit the system environment variables. Once that opens up, click on the environment variables. Then look for the path system variable and double click on it. Then go to new and paste the path you copied. Click OK, OK again, and then OK again. And that should be it. You should now be able to use OpenOCD from anywhere in your system. Now let's go back to the OpenOCD folder. And then one last thing to do is to set up your J-Link. So now let's make sure that your J-Link is connected to your computer, and then go to drivers. Then click on the USB driver tool. In the USB driver tool, right-click on the J-Link driver, then click Install WinUSB. You are now done setting up OpenOCD on your system. Okay, so now it's time to set up GCC. So go to the toolchain folder, Windows, RISC-V 32 unknown LGCC, and then the bin folder. And like we did for OpenOCD, we're going to want to add this path to our system path. So go to your system variable editor. And then once you have that opened, double click on the path, new, and paste the path you just copied, and then click OK. Then, while still in the environment variables window, you want to add a system variable by clicking on new at the very bottom and call it RISC-V32 GCC underscore dir. And for the value, just paste the path you had copied before and delete the bin part. And then click OK. One last useful thing to do before exiting out of this window is add the SDK directory for easy access when using the command line. So let's go back to the Explorer and go back to the downloads folder. Then double click on the SDK directory and copy that path. Then go back to the system variables window and add a new system variable, call it Vega underscore SDK underscore dir. And for the value, paste the path you had just copied. Click OK. OK again, then OK. And that's about it for setting up GCC. Okay, so now lastly, let's set up Eclipse. Before we begin, make sure you've gone to the open-isa.org website and to the downloads section and follow the links to download the Eclipse IDE and also the GNU MCU Eclipse plugin, which if you click on the link, it will take you to this webpage and you will want to download the latest version. Save it into a known directory. I saved it into my downloads directory, the Vega directory that I've been using, but you can save it anywhere. Once you've downloaded everything, you're going to want to open up Eclipse. In this window, you can either create a new workspace or use the pre-existing one. And then click Launch. Once Eclipse opens up, go to Help, Install New Software, Add, and then call it MCU underscore GNU. Then, under Location, click Archive, and navigate to where you downloaded the zip file for the GNU MCU plugin. Select the zip file and click Open. Then click Add. Check the box right next to the Tools and click Next. Click Next again, accept the terms, and click Finish. If you get this message, just click Install anyway. Once it finishes installing, you're going to want to restart Eclipse. Once Eclipse restarts, it's time to set some paths within Eclipse for our toolchain and OpenOCD. So let's go to Window, Preferences, and on the left side, under MCU, click on Global RISC-V Toolchain Paths. Then click Browse and navigate to your installation folder. Then click on the Toolchain folder, then Windows, RISC-V 32 unknown ELF GCC, and then the bin folder. Finally, select the folder. Then on the bottom right, click Apply. Now for the OpenOCD path, under MCU on the left side, click Global OpenOCD Path. Click Browse and then navigate to your installation folder, then go to Toolchain, Windows, OpenOCD, and then Bin. Then select the folder. Finally, select Apply and Close. So that's it for the Eclipse setup. In the next video, we will use all the tools we installed right now to build and run a demo.